Welcome, everyone, to another episode on the Marc Sports Talk with your host, Marc with a C. That's M-A-R-C. C. C. C, senor? C, senor.
Please.
And this is our 215th episode in 215 consecutive weeks. Amazing.
Hold it. Wait for it.
I welcome our panel of sports experts. How is everyone doing today?
Pretty good.
Doing good, Marc. How are you doing?
Oh, glad you asked me that. If you have a calendar with you, or if you want to jot this down, July 4th, which is a few weeks away from now, is a Thursday. We're not going to meet on July 4th. We're going to move the show to July 2nd. I hope you're available to join us on Tuesday, July 2nd. All right? So I'll give you emails. I will mention again next week. But July 4th, happy July 4th. And we'll move to July 2nd for that week and just continue the weekly coverage that we have. Hey, I want to know if any of you people went to Eisenhower Park last weekend to see the cricket matches. Last Sunday, India and Pakistan. No interest? Well, they filled the stadium.
What cricket is.
They filled the stadium of 34,000. Hooray for them. But, around the city, they had what they call viewing parties. Maybe you heard about that, viewing party in different areas. Like, for instance, they had a viewing party in Citi Field. People could come in for free, take a seat, and watch the screen, the game. So our friend who used to be part of the show, Ron, is an usher, and he went. He supposedly worked that day, but he said there was hardly anybody in the stands. So the viewing parties maybe didn't get as much of a attendance as they thought. As a matter of fact, they told the ushers in the middle of the match to go home while the people were still viewing. Stephen.
Marc, they had over 100,000 requests for tickets for that game.
Yeah.
To buy.
Yeah. And it only held 35,000.
And it's done, by the way. Wednesday was the last match. I don't know if they started to dismantle the stadium so quickly, but it's over. It's over.
Yeah, Marc.
Yeah,
Marc.
Yeah.
My son lives in Merrick, and he works in downtown Brooklyn. The traffic was so bad that he just gave up and didn't go to work that day.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we had a walk. My group, a Wednesday group walk, was in Long Beach, and people take the Meadowbrook, and the Meadowbrook was really slow, passing the Eisenhower Park exit, and they got to us a little bit late. Yeah,
Who won, Marc? Who won?
That game, India. India has the only one that hasn't lost yet. Matter of fact, if you didn't know it, they do it like they do the World Cup, and the USA has to win tomorrow against Ireland, the preliminary round, to move on. If you can, I don't know where they're playing it. They're not playing Eisenhower. Eisenhower is done. But they've been having these matches, and here it's local for us. And there are 1, 2, 3. There are 4 divisions, 4 groupings, and we don't actually hear what's going on. There's really no nothing in the paper until yesterday. I finally saw standings. Group A, who's first, second, third, fourth, and the other groupings too. But I thought that was very, very interesting to see that. All right, so we still don't know how to play the goddamn game, right?
No,
Gotta
No,
read the
no one
rule
got
book.
any tutorials along the way. Nobody. No.
We gotta read the rule book, Mark.
I can't. I read. I was trying to read. The score, the scoring when the U.S. had a game. They're talking about. Don't know what the hell they're talking about. All right,
Yep.
one day maybe we'll get somebody on as a guest on this show to talk about how to play it. In case you're interested. So here's a little quick story I want to tell you about. I love to tell these little stories. I went to Target. Like I always go to Target. Everybody goes to Target. In Westbury on Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning. One of the first people there. I think they open at 8 anyway. Once a week, I'm in Target. I fill my cart, and I'm ready to check out. But since it was so early in the day, only one cashier was open. So the self checkout was closed. You heard about these self checkouts. People are stealing.
I hate them.
And people are stealing from if you have 5 things in your ring, only 4, you walk out.
Yeah.
Good way to steal, right? But it was closed at the moment. There's one cashier. I hopped on a line with 2 people ahead of me. I figured I'd go fast. Another person fell behind me, but she only had a belt, not a championship belt. She had a belt, to wear on her pants. So I'm going to call this woman the lady with the belt. The lady with the belt. I said, "Why don't you move ahead of me? I'm a gentleman." I let her go. So now I'm 1, 2, 3. I'm 4th online. And while we're online, we waited and waited and waited. I said, "What's going on here?" The line was not moving. I look over and I'm trying to overhear what's going on with the person who's at the cashier right now. And there was a woman who had lots of stuff. Let's call her Miss Picky. Not Piggy. Picky. P-I-C-K-Y.
K-Y, right.
Right. Because she was questioning the cashier with every item that was rung up. You ever get any people like that? They just everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not that right.
Long.
Oh my God, everything. I said to the people in front and nobody behind me, this is going to take a while. The first 2 people decided to ditch the line, and another one just opened up.
Oh.
Okay, so they quickly ran to that one. So now the lady with the belt was in front of me, and Miss Picky was still arguing. My items, because all she had was a belt, I put all my stuff on the belt. So I'm ready to go as soon as they ring up the lady with the belt. But you were waiting. Now finally, lady with the belt happened to notice that the self-checkout was open. She was gone. So who's next in line? Me. Right? You following this around? I'm next in line, right? So I remained stuck behind Miss Picky. She demanded a manager to come over to see, to make sure the cashier was getting it right. I want to see a supervisor, she was saying. And I'm waiting there with my stuff on the belt. Finally, I swear, I might have been there 10, 12 minutes.
Patience of Job.
Finally, another cashier opened up right next to mine. And my cashier says, "Sir, you better go to the new cashier. This may still take a while." She's questioning everything. I said, "But I have everything on the belt."
Oh, you put it
My
on the belt.
cashier said, "Just go over there. And I'll," meaning she, "will move everything from the belt to the new belt while this person is arguing." Now, of course, Miss Picky started yelling and cursing at the cashier. Why? Because she's talking and helping me instead of helping her. Anyway, make a long story short. Finally, I was wrong. Up, paid, and yes, Miss Picky was still there on the line. I don't know how long she stayed, but that's part A of my story. Go ahead,
Mark, there's a new Target right on Union Turnpike closer to you.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Like 6 small.
It's 3 floors. I don't like it. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Not that much stuff
She's
there.
probably still there, Mark.
Here, right there. So
All
anyway,
Should've
Hey,
said
where
part
is it?
two. Part two of the story, because yes, as I'm online, I'm saying this would make for a great story, right? To tell you guys. So now I'm walking out. I said, no, I'd like to have a cup of coffee in the Starbucks there. So I said, there's no line for the Starbucks. So I began to order, and as I'm ordering, the clerk taking my order says, "You're Marc with a C."
Oh, God.
I go, "Whoa! How do you know me?" And I said, "Oh, by the way, what's your name?" He says, "My name is Zaire." Giving props to Zaire here. Zaire said he remembered making me a cup of coffee once. I'm wanted, and he remembered my face and remembered my name because they always ask you your name. I said my name is Marc with a C, and of course that sticks out.
Yeah, right.
How about that? I told him. I told him he should check out the sports show each week, but Zaire said he wasn't into sports. But he remembered me. That's great that people remember you, right? Strangers,
Yeah.
It is.
better watch what you're doing. There's always
Yeah,
people
right.
watching.
Did you give,
That's my
did you
little-
give her a tip, Mark?
What's that?
Did you give her a tip?
No, it was Zaire's a guy.
It's a man,
Oh,
yeah.
the guy?
Yeah, no, I didn't get it.
Mark.
Yeah.
Where's the new Target in Lake Success?
Like where
Yeah.
the Sears
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
be. If
Where
you remember
Sears was.
Sears
That's
was
right. That's right. They were
Yeah.
planning that for
for
quite a
years,
while.
for years. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
They fixed up the parking lot, but it's 3 floors.
Yeah, everybody was
So I don't
making a
like
big deal about it. We went in there. I said, "That's all there is."
Yeah.
Exactly. There's not that much stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Milton.
For the cashier.
Milton, you're going to give us your name, that tune, plus a
Okay.
very interesting article, I believe, right?
Yeah, quick, yeah. Anyway, this song went to #1 April 7th, 1962. She recorded this at 16 years old. She was on the Donna Reed Show, made movies with Elvis. Here is the song number. Who was it?
Shelley Fabre.
Who?
Here, and that's
Shelley
Shelley
Fabre.
Fabre.
Yes.
Shelley
She
Fabre.
was with the some Elvis movies, and she was on, a couple of TV shows. Anyway,
Donna
it's a
Reed
good
show.
song. #1, April 7th, 1962.
Was she
What hit one?
related to
Fabre.
Nanette
It was a
Fabre?
one hit.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Anyway,
Okay.
Brennan, I'll make, yes.
Yeah.
Michael?
She played Brian Piccolo's wife in Brian's song.
Oh, yeah, you're
I
right.
didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Anyway, listen to this. I read an article how sports, some people that they all played college sports, some in professional organizations and went on to other careers. And I read it was from every walk of life: soccer, track and field, basketball, baseball, football, whatever. But there were some common things that were noted in all of them and how it helped their careers. And I'll just read them off to you. One of them was thinking analytically, communication clearly, developing thickness of skin. It helps to shrug off rejection, which can happen in any position you have afterwards. Keeping a cool head under pressure. That could be meeting a deadline at work. Early exposure to playbooks and setting goals and strength and training and skill development. And also having to compete for a starting position, getting over an injury, new coaching staff. It's like at your job, it could be a new CEO in charge. They all felt that these helped them a lot. And, also always be resilient and adaptability and be able to adjust to the situation and being always being a teammate. All the people that I read about from every walk of life, some were in wealth management, whatever career it was being a team member and be able to not try to do everything yourself. Even myself, I'll just give a quick example. I always played sports, softball, and then tennis was a really high. I played singles for many years, and being physically fit, may be able to practice dentistry that I did for 54 years, and I led a team. I could not have ever been successful without every member under me and had to treat them in a certain way that they all felt part of winning. If the practice did well, they did well. So I just wanted to bring that up. It was written in a Barron's magazine that I read about, and I just thought it's a little something different than we usually talk about. But the common thing is resiliency and adaptability, and able to adjust in any situation, in whatever career you're in. And sports people, their careers are very short usually. So they have to be able to adapt to a new career afterwards.
Yeah,
That's all.
Very
Just-
interesting.
very
Yep.
Now
interesting,
you
right?
tell me.
Very true.
All
Milton,
right.
you ever get tennis elbow?
Yes, I did,
And
but
how
I
did
got
you
over
tennis
it.
elbow? How you
You
let
know what?
drill
Be honest.
somebody with tennis elbow?
No, you know what? Tennis elbows because I wasn't hitting the backhand right. I was leading with my elbow instead of your shoulder.
I understand,
But
but
I got over it.
how did you drill somebody with having that pain in your
Mark,
elbow?
I could turn off the pain. Honestly, I could turn
Oops,
it off.
I missed.
Yeah, that's how I play tennis to this day. I could
Very
turn
good.
off some of the
Yeah, hey,
injuries.
Mark, you ever hear of ibuprofen?
Yep,
Helps.
I
Well,
couldn't
what's
play
the stuff
without
you
it.
rub on? Always rubbing things on. I have more things rubbed on me.
Me too.
More information than we need to know.
I know. Okay. All right. Thank you, Milton, for that.
Little
Thank
blue
you.
emo is always good.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. This day in sports, June 13th. A lot of things happened today. We'll see if anything interests you. In 1874, someone says, "What are you talking about 1800s all the time?" The 8th Belmont Stakes. A horse named Saxon wins it in 2:39. Anyone know what the winning time was in this year's Belmont Stakes? 1.25 miles they ran. So what is that? About two and change, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The horses have gotten faster, right? In 150 years, 1874. All right. Let's see what else happened. I'll skip that because I want to go a little faster. Oh, in 1895, a guy named Emile Levasseur
Mhm.
the first ever automobile race in a Paris to Bordeaux to Paris again, 48 hours and 48 minutes. How did they have cars in 1895? I thought there were no cars until 19 something.
No, I think they had.
No? Yeah?
I think so.
Okay. In 1905, Giants, Christy Mathewson throws his second no-hitter on this date, beating the Cubs. I'm skipping around here. In 1912, again, Christy Mathewson. He wins his 300th game. How about that? In 1913, the Yankees win their 13th game of the year, but they have already lost 36. So I guess they weren't doing too good back in those days, huh? Which
Islander days.
Here's one, and this must have been pretty common, and I don't know why this happened, and I've come up with this a few times. 1924, the Yankees win by forfeit over the Tigers. And I read something last week. There was another forfeit. Maybe they were winning by a lot and teams say, forget about it. We're done.
You know what I think it is, Mark?
Wow.
I'm not sure, but I think if they were the visiting team and maybe there was unruly fans running out on the field and something to do with that, and they just forfeit the
maybe.
game.
I can
the
see
whole
that,
team loses.
Yeah, Mark, in Tiger Stadium, they didn't have the fans were held back by a rope in the outfield. You know, in those days.
Yeah. No,
they
were
weren't in the
fans.
stands.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah. In 1935, 10-1 underdog, James J. Braddock upset defending champ Max Baer. That's
Right.
15-round decision in Madison Square Garden. And who's Max Baer?
Buddy Bear's father, right?
Buddy Bear's father.
Yeah.
Jethro.
And who's his son?
Jethro.
Jethro.
Is that who Braddock Avenue is named after?
I don't know, maybe. In 37 on this day, Joe DiMaggio hits 3 consecutive home runs. Let's see, 47, the first night game at Fenway Park. 48, Babe Ruth's final farewell at Yankee Stadium. And he died August 16th of 48. 53, a horse named Native Dancer wins the Belmont. Now, there was another dancer a few years later, not Native Dancer, Northern
Private
Dancer.
Dancer.
Remember Northern Dancer?
Yeah.
I bet that was,
Dancer.
they're related. Right? What they call
Probably.
it was his sire. Is that how they call it? The sire? The son of?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, son of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I don't know.
Sorry.
In 53, a guy named Jim Peters runs the fastest marathon ever. 2 hours and 18 minutes plus. So again, they're running faster today too. In 53, same day, U.S. Open men's golf. As a matter of fact, that's beginning this weekend again. I think it's in North Carolina this year. They rotate the U.S. Open. Ben Hogan wins the record-tying fourth U.S. Open title.
Wow.
Sammy Snead. I love those old names. Sammy.
They were the two best golfers when I was a kid.
Yeah, 1 and 2. In 55, in Mercedes racing car, kills 77 at Le Mans. I don't know what that means. Say in 57, Ted Williams becomes the first American League player to have 3 home run game. Pretty good, right?
Wow.
In 59, the first Bill Shoemaker. Remember Bill Shoemaker, the jockey? He wins the Belmont aboard Sword Dancer.
I remember him.
They love that. They love those names, the dancing names, huh? In 73, here's a good one, more common to today, even though it was so many years ago. 73, the Dodgers, Garvey, Lopes, Say, and Russell. Steve Garvey, Davey Lopes, Ron Say, and
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Bill
No,
Russell.
Bill Russell, right?
Bill Russell?
Yeah, Bill Russell.
Yeah.
No
Bill
relation
Russell.
to- they played
No.
together for the first time and stayed together for 8.5 years. That was amazing. That was that group to stay so long together, huh?
Yes. Steve Garvey is running for the Senate now in California.
Yeah, right. He was.
Yeah. In 87, a guy named Daniel Butner, Brett Anderson, Martin Engel, and Ann, I guess they had a girl in here, Kane, complete a cycling journey in 87, 15,000 plus miles bicycle riding from Alaska to Argentina. How about that?
Wow.
It doesn't say how long it took them, though. Okay. In 89, Detroit Pistons sweep the Lakers in the finals to win the NBA crown in 89 and 91. A spectator was killed by lightning at the Golf U.S. Open. I don't remember that. Anyone remember that?
No.
No? In 91, the National Hockey League owners present a contract to players, which I guess they didn't like because it led to a strike in April of 92. So a half a year later, they decided to strike. In 91, the National, the first all-sports daily newspaper, stops publication. I don't remember that one at all.
I remember that.
You did. In 94, Ryan Sandberg, one of my idols growing up, retires due to poor health and forfeits a $15.7 million contract. $15.7 million of his $25 million contract. In 94, Don Mattingly plays first base 1,469 games as a Yankee, and of course, it's the second most. And who was the first most?
Lou Gehrig.
Iron Horse. In 95, Denny Martinez, who I think maybe should be in the Hall of Fame and got overlooked for some reason because he was a good pitcher. He no-hit the Orioles on this day. In 95, the Jersey Devils, beat the Flyers to qualify for their first Stanley Cup Finals, and they beat the Red Wings. Good for them. Couple more. In 2002, Stanley Cup Final, Detroit beats Carolina Hurricanes 4-1 in the series, and Scotty Bowman retires as a coach, head coach. He had 9 titles, so he's a Hall of Famer, of course. In 2012, too bad our buddy Howie's not with us. Giants pitcher Matt Cain pitches his first perfect game, the first perfect game in franchise history for the Giants, as he perfect games the Astros. In 2014, the Kings beat the Rangers, and I'm sorry, the Kings beat the Rangers for the Cup. So the Rangers were close, but they didn't get it.
That hurt. That hurt.
Yeah, in 2017, the Warriors' second NBA title in 3 years as they beat the Cavs.
Mhm.
In 2018, on this day, FIFA, the soccer organization, votes to award the 2026, which has not come yet, World Cup to USA, Canada, and Mexico, which will be happening soon. And in 2019, the Raptors beat the defending champion, the Warriors, for their NBA title. In 2021, Novak Djokovic wins his 19th Grand Slam singles as he beats Stefanos
Tsitsipas.
You got it. And exactly 1 year ago today, last year, Vegas Golden Knights beat Florida 9-3 in the final game for their first title, and that was only their 6th year in existence. And that's what happened today in sports, June 13th.
Two things. Can I make 2 comments on your story? First of all, the Braddock story. That was the movie Cinderella Man that was made. Great movie. Wonderful movie. Braddock then lost his world title to Joe Louis. Right?
Yeah.
That's how Joe Louis became champion. And also regarding the name of horses. Oftentimes the horses have a common name like Dancer.
Yeah.
Because that's the name of the stable.
The stable?
And, yeah, the stable that owns and breeds the horses, all of their horses are named Dancer. You see it more in standard breds, in harness racing.
Oh.
You will see horses named Hanover or Yankee, like and things like that. You see it more in trotters and pacers, not as much in thoroughbreds in the flats, but it determines the lineage to the actual stable that bred those horses.
Good info there. He's right there, Dave. David, the one-time owner.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, I wanted to wake you up there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And probably
Let's move on to Gerald's personality of the week, sponsored by. Yeah, we still have sponsors. Boom boxes. Remember the boom boxes?
Just want to tell you, the Yankees are winning 3-2.
Yeah.
You know what? Soto almost totally fell down swinging at a ball, and then he got up and got a hit to put him ahead 3-2. Yep.
Thank you for the update. All right, Gerald.
Okay, my sports personality this week is Carl Anthony Furillo, or as we got to know him, Carl Furillo. Nicknames included Skunge and the Reading Rifle. Here are some of his baseball accomplishments. 2 times All-Star, 2 times World Series champion, National League batting champion, 1953, batted .344. Carl enlisted in the Army in 1942, served for 3 years. He served in the Pacific Theater. He received 3 battle stars and the Purple Heart, being wounded in action. He refused the Purple Heart, saying that he was not sufficiently valiant. Wow, never heard of that. A very, very straightforward man. In a 15-year career with the Dodgers in Brooklyn and Los Angeles, he averaged 17 homers per year, 95 RBIs, and missed by 1 point that magical 300 batting average. Am I hearing something?
Yeah, sometimes static or something.
Anyway, so he batted 299 lifetime. He was a very, very good defensive player with a rifle for an arm. In fact, he learned how to position himself in right field and Ebbets Field so that depending upon where the ball hit off the wall, he knew exactly how to position himself in terms of the rebound from the wall regarding balls hit over his head. He played 311 games as the Dodgers center fielder. In fact, he was the center fielder between Pete Reiser and Duke Snider. He averaged in a 9 season stretch, 9 straight seasons, he averaged over 10 assists as an outfielder. And here's where I want to go off the rails a little bit. DeRocher was involved with the Dodgers until about 1951 when he became the manager of the Giants. So DeRocher, first of all, called Carl Furillo a heavy drinker, which was totally untrue. Number two, when DeRocher became manager of the Giants, he had a campaign to constantly have his pitcher throw at Carl Furillo, which really was annoying to me. I remember it as a kid. So germane to that, one day, manager Leo DeRocher is on the top step of the Giant dugout, waving Furillo, "Come and get me." Well, Furillo went and got him.
Yep.
Got him in a headlock. They had a fight. There were a ton of guys on top of them, and umpire Donatelli was yelling, "Kill him! Kill DeRocher!" Unfortunately, he was unsuccessful. I was disappointed. So he played with the Dodgers for 15 years. His final year was 1960. He was released by the Dodgers. The Dodgers had $21,000 left to pay on his contract. O'Malley refused to pay it. He sued O'Malley, won, and O'Malley had to pay him $21,000, but O'Malley had him blacklisted. He never got another job as a player, manager, or coach or hitting instructor. Wow. And that disturbed me a lot. And I just want to conclude with this. When you consider all the crap that A-Rod did, for example, he sued the Yankee doctor, he sued Major League Baseball, he was never blacklisted, he's making a fortune on ESPN as a color commentator. It's not fair. Carl, you deserve much better than what you received in the game of baseball, which I know you love. May you rest in peace. And that concludes my short biography of the great Carl Furillo.
There he is. There he is. He was born in 1922. So
yes.
He's 102.
Correct.
All right, comments there, Joe.
Yeah, 2 things. He had a great arm, and he was known to throw guys out running to first base. That was one thing that he was able to do.
He threw out a pitcher, Mel Queen, who thought he had a single to right field. Yep. And germane to that, he not only had a great arm, but of course, I think of the other great right fielders who had great arms, such as Clemente and Rocky Talavito.
Yep. And the second thing is that an upshot of the fight with DeRocher is that Furillo was leading the league in batting at .344, and he broke his wrist.
Right.
And he was out for the rest of the season, but he still won the batting crown.
Yes.
Really? Yeah.
Okay. I actually learned to hate DeRocher more than O'Malley.
And he was from Stony Creek Mills, Pennsylvania.
And, DeRocher had been the manager of the Dodgers, and I think he was suspended for a year.
He was.
I'm not sure what it was, gambling maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, gambling.
It was gambling.
Hanging out with certain characters.
Yeah.
Wow.
He liked the nightlife also, DeRocher.
He did. Lorraine Day made a mistake.
Right, he was married to Lorraine Day, an actress. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
All right,
he was quite a character, DeRocher. You don't have those. You don't have that anymore.
Leo
Carl Furillo.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
Yeah. Back in the '60s, I worked as a letter carrier in Maspeth, Long Island, and I used to rack up in the morning and do my job, but I had a lot of downtime before I had to punch out. So I went to this place called Mary's Bar I think it's on Grand Avenue in Maspeth. And who was a regular there but the aforementioned Carl Furillo. He was a part-time construction worker at the time. I remember he had a big tattoo on his arm, and he was a little unhappy. He wasn't too happy with his life, but he was a regular at Mary's bar, and sort of like he was a drinking buddy of mine. How's that?
How about that? All right.
Right. So germane to all of that, I just wanted to go very quickly the type of life that he had after he was out of baseball. I know he co-owned a bar in Flushing for 7 years. He worked at the World Trade Center for Otis Elevator, installing doors, and eventually went home to his native Pennsylvania, became a night watchman 4 nights a week, eventually contracted leukemia, and he passed away from heart problems. He should have been offered a job in baseball by the Dodgers or whoever. He could have been a good hitting instructor or manager or scout or whatever. And it still bothers me that piece of crap A-Rod walks around making millions, and he did a lot worse than Carl Furillo ever did.
A-Rod was going to be a guest on the show next week, so you can hold your thoughts to him.
Can I punch him out?
No one will show up for the call.
All right, thank you, Gerald, and we'll move on to your brother Larry. Sports Stories by Larry, sponsored by fax machines. What do you have for us today?
My story this week is entitled, "Has Lionel Messi lived up to all the MLS hype?" As you recall, last year, Lionel Messi came to play soccer in America for the International de Football Miami, or Inter Miami for short. With his career goals already surpassing Pele's, Lionel brought hysteria to Major League Soccer. Messi came to play for Inter Miami in the mid-2023 season. At that time, Inter Miami was in last place in the Eastern Conference. But by the end of that season, the team moved up 1 notch in the standings. And Messi helped make this happen with 11 goals in his 10 MLS appearances for that season. At the mid-mark of this season, the Inter Miami team is in first place in the Eastern Conference with 10 wins, 2 losses, and 5 ties. Messi helped with 12 goals and 10 assists in his 12 MLS appearances. Further, on 4 May, Lionel made history in MLS by becoming the first player to record 5 assists in a single match. Of course, Lionel has been helped with the addition of the Brazilian star Luis Suarez and with the assist of Julian Grissel. At this juncture, Messi is considered in the race for MVP. However, Lionel turns 37 years old in July and has been plagued with periodic injuries throughout the season. Home attendance for Inter Miami matches have soared ever since Lionel Messi came on the scene. In 2022, before Lionel's arrival, Inter Miami drew an average of only 12,600 fans at home. But with Messi playing, its average home attendance markedly rose to 18,500 fans in 2023 and to 21,500 in 2024 so far. According to Miami owner Jorge Ma, Lionel Messi will earn between $50 million and $60 million this year. Also, Messi makes an estimated $65 million in endorsements now. His MLS contract runs out after the 2025 season. That completes my story for this week.
Anybody have any comments? Get a little trouble saying Lionel. Just call him Leo.
No,
I thought it was Lionel.
Pronunciation is Lionel.
Leo is Espanol, no? Lee is L-I is Espanol. Lee.
It's Lionel.
Yeah. Lionel. He's right, Mark. He's right. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah. Call him Leo.
Call him Leo. Yeah.
Anybody have any comments?
It reminds me when Pele came to the U.S., Mark. I mean, the crowds were very big, late in his career kind of thing when he went to the Cosmos. I mean,
yeah. But let me ask you a question to our panel here. If Lionel Messi walked into your room right now and you didn't know he was coming, would you recognize him?
Sure.
You would recognize him, yeah?
Yeah.
He's not wearing his
Yeah.
shorts, not wearing his, he's coming in there with a suit. You'd recognize his face?
Yeah.
he does it.
No,
I'm saying, yeah, I wouldn't recognize his face.
me neither.
You know, Leo Messi, I think my philosophy is he came to the States for a couple of reasons. First of all, he wanted to play in another World Cup, and, you know, being in the United States, that's what he wanted to do. He could have gone, he was offered from a team in Dubai, like $1 billion, and he turned it down. He doesn't need the money. You know, and he didn't want to go over there with his 3 kids and wife, you know, to live under those religious regulations that they have over there. So, I think the owner of Inter Miami is a very good friend of his also, the principal owner. So that was, you know, part of the connection, supposedly, you know.
All right. We go watch him. Put the games on, you go watch him. All
Yeah.
right. And he stands right in front of the net, right? All the time?
No.
He pass it to
Not
me.
quite.
There's a little fake, or what they call it, deke. And puts it in.
Not quite. If he would do that, he would be offside all the time.
You're right. You're right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Who would like? Okay. Let's. No more comments. No more comments. Okay. Let's move on. The Roger report. Roger has a very special report today. It's sponsored by. Remember encyclopedias?
Sure.
Anybody still have an encyclopedia in their home?
Nope.
They're online now.
Yeah, but
I remember the
old
Britannia.
encyclopedias.
The
Nobody
Britannica.
even wants to buy them.
No.
No.
Hey, Mark, you remember Jiminy Cricket's song? Get the
Jiminy Cricket?
encyclopedia, ENCYCLOPEDIA.
I don't remember that. All right, you're older than me. All right, Roger, the Roger report. What do you have?
Okay. Mark asked me to talk about Jerry West, famous, iconic basketball player, died of 86 this week. Various nicknames, Mr. Clutch, the logo, stuff like that. Son of a... Sorry?
Zeke?
Zeke? I didn't hear that one. Okay.
Zeke from Cabin Creek.
Okay. Son of a coal miner. He was born in Cheyenne, West Virginia, and he went to the University of West Virginia. He was elected to the Hall of Fame 3 times, 1980 as a player, 2010 as a member of the gold medal winning 1960 U.S. Olympic team, and then apparently he's going to be later this year as a contributor to basketball. Adam Silver called him one of the greatest executives in sports history, so that'll be his 3rd time. All-star in all of his 14 NBA seasons, all with the Lakers. 12-time All-NBA selection. He was part of the 1972 Lakers championship team. And he was NBA Finals MVP when the Lakers even lost to the Celtics in '69. That was the first year apparently the award was given, and the only time it's been given to a member on a losing team. And that apparently still holds. He was also selected as part of the NBA's 75th anniversary team. GM and architect of various Lakers championship teams. He helped build the quote-unquote Showtime dynasty. Also worked in the front offices of the Grizzlies, the Warriors, and the LA Clippers. Some of his highlights as an executive, he drafted Magic Johnson and James Worthy, and he brought in Kobe Bryant and eventually Shaq to play alongside each other. Also played with, and just to show the connection with all the generations, he played with Elgin Baylor and Wilt Chamberlain. So he really connects all these decades with the Lakers there. He's still, granted he retired in '74, he's 25th on the NBA's all-time scoring list. He's still the NBA Finals all-time leader in total points, field goals made and attempted, free throws made and attempted too. And unfortunately, his teams, most of the times they went up against the Celtics, and when he was there, they were 0-6 against the Celtics, and he always called them those damn Celtics. He was often quoted, and he was 1-2 against the Knicks. So quite a. I mean, I could just remember him that big shot he hit against the Knicks, and that was at the finals, that half-court shot he hit, I think, to send the game into overtime. That was kind of my first memory of Jerry West. I guess I was about 7 or 8 years old at that point. But, it seemed like a real class act and, just an all-around nice person. I got the impression.
But would he be a star today?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
I don't think he'd be a star today.
I do. Be a great shooting guard.
Yeah, he'd do well on the 3-point line.
You think so? Yeah.
Absolutely.
He had a good jump shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, Larry?
He was very frustrated in the 1960s when they lost to the Celtics. 6 times?
6 times.
And one time with Chamberlain, West, and Baylor. It was unbelievable. I watched those series. It was hard to believe that they lost.
Okay, Fred?
Yeah, he was also MVP in 1960 of the Final Four when they lost 71-70 to California, who had Darryl Imhoff, who was a first-round draft choice of the Knicks. Yeah,
never made it big, Imhoff.
Yeah, in that final game, he had 28 points and 11 rebounds, but they lost by 1 point. And he was also I had to leave the room for a second. He also was on the 60 Olympic team.
Yeah, good. You're hazy there. We can't see anything. It looks like
I know. Don't worry about it. You don't have to see me. You can just hear me.
We could take a collection. You could buy a new computer.
Yeah.
He does it purposely.
It's not the computer, it's the blinds.
All right. Anybody else want to comment on Roger's story about Jerry West? Anybody? Anybody have a memory of Jerry West? Other than his,
just that he was a lights out shooter, West. That's what I remember about him.
Yeah. One other thing I recommend. I read his autobiography, and he really, came very clean about his bouts with depression and his feelings about growing up with an abusive family. It's an excellent autobiography if anybody is interested.
There you go. All right. Do you have anything else, Roger, as far as the Roger report? I
can run by a couple things. I mean, Jerry West was the key thing this week. The White Sox, and there's an MLB had lost a record 14 consecutive games, which apparently was the most they had lost since 1924 in a row, but they eventually beat the Red Sox the next day, so they ended that streak. I mean, they're really suffering big time this year. I know Met fans are noted this one. The Cubs signed right-hand pitcher Jorge Lopez to a minor league deal. He was the one, infamously getting ejected and throwing his glove into the stands. So
let's see how long he lasts.
Yeah, I forgot he was the former closer of the Orioles a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
his star has kind of fallen in a big way. I mean, the Cubs bullpen is 4.47 ERA, which is 24th in Major League Baseball. They got 3 relievers on the DL, so that's I guess the main reason. I guess they felt a little desperation there. Let me get to the next group of stuff here. Steelers, as expected, extended Mike Tomlin for another 3 years. He'll be entering his 18th season with the team. A little bit of continuity there, unlike our local teams.
Yeah.
I don't think he's had a losing record with them since he's been there, although they haven't done too well in the playoffs recently. Also, Netflix is releasing a receiver trailer. It comes out July 10th. So, I guess they had one with quarterbacks. Now they'll have one with receivers. We'll get to see a little inside scoop on that. Let's see. Also, of course, Tom Brady fans. I saw the Patriots retired his number 12 jersey. They had kind of their own little Hall of Fame ceremony. Saw that on the news. NBA Lakers. We saw they offered UConn coach Danny Hurley 6-year, $70 million contract, but he turned it down. He's going to go for the three-peat for the Huskies. So I guess he doesn't want LeBron managing him, but probably figures they wouldn't listen to him anyway. So just as well. NHL had a very interesting thing here. Spotlights rescue dogs on TV with the Stanley Pup. So and that was kind of funny. They're raising their salary cap this year to $88 million for the 2024-25 season. Increase of $4.5 million for each team. They do have a floor though, which I thought was interesting. The
hockey
is $65 million for the NHL, and 11 teams are under that level, Mark. and Utah has to spend more than 20 million to get to that floor, 65 million. So that's why the players are happy about that. Boston and Montreal named host cities for the NHL's Four Nations face-off next season. Apparently, it's 7 total games between Canada, Finland, Sweden, and the U.S. It's February 12th to the 20th, 2025. Stars GM Jim Nill won the 2024 Jim Gregory GM of the Year award for the 2nd consecutive season. The Sharks promoted their assistant coach Ryan Warsofsky to be head coach. He's been the assistant to David Quinn the last 2 seasons. He will be the youngest head coach. He's only 36 years old. The rest is more tennis related. Iga Swiatek beat Jasmine Paolini for her 3rd straight French Open and 4th title in 5 years. She's all of 23 years old. Coco Gauff won her first Grand Slam doubles title with Katerina Siniakova from the Czech Republic. So she got to the semis in the singles and won a doubles title. That was pretty good. Carlos Alcaraz won the French Open for his 3rd career Grand Slam. Beat Alexander Zverev in 5 sets. He's all of 21 years old. Real change into the guard we got
What a
here.
future! What a future these guys have. And I just heard today that him and Nadal want to be doubles partners.
My next comment, Mark, exactly. Nadal and Alcaraz are going to play doubles in the Olympics.
Right.
And Nadal is not going to. He's going to skip Wimbledon so he can focus on the Paris Olympics.
Very good.
That's probably a good move.
Yeah.
So that's my report.
All right, comment, Milton.
Yeah, before you get off tennis, at Dartmouth, Roger Federer gave the wonderful speech, commencement of graduation. It was terrific. Well, we have it on tape, but basically, he was giving all the graduates pointers in life. What, from his start as a tennis, when he first came up, how he threw the racket and everything, he wasn't the same as he was later on, but there were like 10 steps. You know what, if I save it for another Zoom, I could go over it step by step, what he said. But basically, when the point is over, just forget about it. It's over, it's done with. And how hard it is to become. A lot of times he looked like he was playing without any tension or anything like that it just came naturally. He said it wasn't so. He just wanted the people he was playing against to believe it, that he really trained when nobody was watching. He was fully, trained, but a lot of times he didn't look that way to the opponent. And I can make a list of all his points for life that he related to tennis. I don't have them with me right now, but on another Zoom, I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? All right, why don't we move on? Thank you, Roger, for that. Fred.
Yep.
NBA report.
Okay, well, very, very.
By the way, it's sponsored by Paper Card. No. What do I have here? Paper Car Maps.
Okay. In the interest of time, one sentence on the playoffs. Celtics are going to win it in 4. Hasn't been no contest for the Mavericks. They gave them somewhat of a game, maybe a little bit yesterday. I didn't see the game, but and Doncic fouled out on what I heard was a controversial call. I didn't see it, but Boston is overwhelming and shows I don't even need Porzingis to win. And the NBA draft is in 2 weeks, and we'll see what happens then.
You were right. I was wrong.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
You thought that Dallas would win?
Yeah,
I did.
He did.
Let the two haters
I thought that
suffer.
Doncic and Irving would be the 2 best players.
There you go.
But no, Boston is just too good.
The Jew haters getting cursed.
And
you know what? I mean, Irving has been pretty. He's been just pretty straightforward with Dallas. So I don't know whether I want to give him a second chance, but I don't want to hit on him.
Yeah, I'm just concentrating on the basketball.
He's been a pretty straight shooter with them. He hadn't said anything. He's been playing, and he's playing hard. So
yeah,
I'll leave him alone for the time being.
Celtics are a pleasure to watch.
They're just too good.
All right, Fred. While you have the microphone, why don't you talk about
Chet Walker, or you want me to do the baseball thing?
No, do the Chet.
Okay. Well, Chet Walker, Hall of Famer, passed away this week. He was born in 1940 in Bethlehem, Mississippi, and as you know, during that time, a lot of African American families migrated north, and his family was among them. His single mother, they immigrated to Benton Harbor, Michigan, where he started in high school, and then went to Bradley University, where he played on some great teams. Now, you need to remember back in the time at 59, 60, only one team went to the NCAA tournament. But in 1960, Bradley won the NIT, but their overall record was 27-2. They finished 4th in the Associated Press final poll, but they had the unfortunate experience of being in the Missouri Valley Conference, where they lost 2 games to Oscar Robinson and Cincinnati. So they could not go to the NCAA tournament, but they vanquished the field in the NIT, beating Providence, who was led by, I'm sure you know, Lenny Wilkins at the time, and they won the NIT tournament, which was a very prestigious event back then. And from there, he was the 12th overall pick in the 1962 NBA draft. It was the second round. There were only 8 teams, therefore he was second round by the Syracuse Nationals. Of course, he never played in Syracuse. Of course, the team moved to Philadelphia, and then he was on the all-rookie team in 1963. And then he was on part of the Sixers team of 66-67, which ended the 8-year run of the Boston Celtics consecutive championship streak. And, of course, the Sixers team that year was highlighted with Wilt Chamberlain, Hal Greer, Wally Jones, and, of course, my favorite player, who's from my old high school, Billy Cunningham. And at the time, they had the best single season record at 68-13, and coached by Alex Hannum. Of course, that record has since been surpassed. And he averaged on that team 19 points and 8 rebounds for the Sixers that year. And that was just a great team. I remember watching them as a 16, 17-year-old, seeing them play in the Garden when back then you can see NBA doubleheaders in Madison Square Garden for sitting in the end arena for $3. And it was just a pleasure watching that team.
GO discount.
Yeah. No, this wasn't a GO discount. That was regular price. $3. End arena. Behind the basket. And then he was traded to the Chicago Bulls in '69 and played out the rest of his career with Chicago, where he teamed up with Butterbean Bob Love, who you might remember as a great scoring forward. Then they never got as far as the conference finals, but they got as far as the conference semifinals. But he was still a great player with Chicago. And then he did score 56 points in one game against the Cincinnati Royals. It took a long time for him to be elected to the Hall of Fame. He wasn't elected to the Hall of Fame until 2012, and he claims he thought that it was because he was very much involved in the players' union with the players' union founder Larry Fleischer. No relation. No relation. My son's name, but we didn't name him after him. But Walker was really a great player, and it was at Bradley where he got his nickname Chet the Jet.
Chet the Jet, yeah.
And in his later career, he authored a memoir called "Long Time Coming: A Black Athlete's Coming of Age in America," and he also produced a television movie called "The Mary Thomas Story." Now, Mary Thomas is the mother of Isaiah Thomas, and her story was raising, I think, 6 children by herself, including Isaiah, in Chicago during the not so great neighborhood, and inspiring story about that was made for television movie. And that's basically it.
Fred,
Yeah.
I think he went on to get a master's degree in education, if I remember correctly.
It's very possible. In the 2 AP stories that I read, and the other story that didn't mention that, but it's very possible.
Anybody else?
He averaged 21 points per game for his career.
Pretty
Really
good.
great player.
Good.
But he was never the star of this teams in the pros. He was always like the second, the third, the fourth.
Never the star, but still to average 21 points for your career and to average on a championship team 19 points. Where yeah, I mean, and that team Chamberlain got all the publicity, but that was a great team. I mean, Hal Greer, remember Hal Greer would shoot his foul shots as a jump shooter.
Exactly.
Hal Greer was some player, man.
Yeah,
Don't forget Wally Jones and Lucius Jackson.
Another one.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You can go on and on with all those guys. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Greer was one of those players I feared when he played against the Knicks. Boy, he could shoot.
Right.
Yeah.
He could play, Hal Greer.
Oh yeah, Hal Greer. Was
All right.
The announcer,
Play.
when Greer got a
Very great.
shot, he would go, Greer.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Wally.
Good to hear
Wally.
about Chet Walker. You know, not good that he died, but
Yeah.
just to
No.
review his
Good to
life.
remember him.
Yeah. And you know what? Just before we move on to a few other people who still want to talk, Josh Maravich, the son of
Yeah.
Pete,
Yeah.
42 years old. The son was 42. He only got up to as a reserve on the LSU team.
Was that about the same age as his father passed away?
His father was a little bit older, I think, Fred, a couple
About
years
the
old.
same age. I didn't say exactly.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
cause
well,
mentioned how Josh died. Whatever. Okay. Thank you, Fred and Michael. We're up to you. Your Yankees and Jets, sponsored by taxes.
All right.
Not the state of taxes,
let me
just taxes.
let me right. Well, let me start with the Jets. You know, it's amazing with the Jets because you read a lot of articles. You know, we're so far away from the beginning of the season, and they seem to have so many studs, so many great players. And I say to myself, I hope this coach could really coach them because it's unbelievable. Because now they have this problem. They have a holdout from their defensive back, Hanson Riddick, and of course, it's interesting what's going on with Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers, he unequivocally says he's going to be all in, he's going to be this and that and great. But now on the radio, they're calling him a hypocrite because now they wonder, they think he's either with the concert, maybe a Taylor Swift concert, he may be at some kind of retreat, but nobody knows exactly where he is because he's AWOL. And Salah said that he had a conversation with him. But you know what it's like if you're a teacher, if you ever worked in schools, there's always that one or two teachers who get all the privileges. And I guess it's like that in sports also. And in my world and in my life, I've never seen anybody to the level of Aaron Rodgers. And that's all I have about the Jets. It's ridiculous what's going on. Now, pivoting over to the Yankees, who lost today 4-3, and Holmes blew one.
They lost it. Okay.
Right. I've never seen them this enjoyable. I mean, I enjoyed '98. I still say '98 was the better team because '98 had no mediocre ball players. There's no really extra outs. They were all terrific. Whereas on the current Yankee team, I mean, I don't think much of Caleb Ferguson. I worry like crazy when Hamilton comes in. Tommy Kahnle, he struggles left and right, and also it looks like Nestor is starting to falter. There are flaws, but in '98 I saw absolutely nothing, and it was unbelievable. They're making a whole big deal about Judge because Judge might be very, very close to the best player we've ever seen. The only thing that I'm worried about with Judge, if it continues to improve, you're going to stop seeing him hit. Nobody's going to want to pitch to him anymore, and no matter who's batting after him, and that's the way Judge is playing. It's unbelievable about Judge because I saw him play in 2016 for Scranton, and he hit a lot like the way he hit in April. He just struck out all the time, and he swung at ridiculous pitches, and that's what happens to Judge every once in a while. Today he hit like that, Why does that happen?
The golden sombrero today.
Right?
4 Ks and 4 times up.
Yeah. Why and where does that happen? Where does it come from when you have it? And where does it go when it leaves you? And you kind of wonder. But when Judge, up until today, he was as good as any player you'd ever want to see. And if it continued, we'd have to worry about not seeing him hit anymore. But I wanted to address Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone I've had a lot of problems with. I always was concerned about his intuitive skills. And yet, maybe you want to call it a miracle, but Monday's game I got to pivot to. If you recall, they had a big high-pressure weekend series against the Dodgers. And unlike having a 1 o'clock game on Sunday, they had a night game on Sunday night. And after the game, which the Yankees won, they had to fly to Kansas City and play a game that day. So the problem with that is they couldn't play. Boone didn't want to play all the stars. So Judge was out, if I recall correctly. Rizzo was out. Stanton was out. And even Soto. I think Soto was a designated hitter. And they played Jermani Jones out there. They had Grisham in center field. In other words, they had a lot of the second line players. So what did Boone do? We have not seen a game in years where there were so many bunts. As a matter of fact, LeMahieu did a suicide, was it a safety squeeze or a suicide squeeze? I haven't seen that in years. So that's a tribute to Boone. So Boone seems to be doing much better. And then that game on Monday, he didn't want to use any of the high-level relievers. He puts this guy Tonkin in to close the game, and it was a little shaky, but he closed it. So what I'm saying about the Yankees, I've never seen them this enjoyable. Today I was in Jones Beach, and I'm walking around, of course, wearing my Yankee hat, and many, many people, they walk by and they just say, aren't the Yankees incredible? And they are incredible, and who's to know? But you wonder, you'd like to hope. I really feel that this season, if they do not win the World Series, it'll be a big disappointment, because I've never seen them this good except for '98. And that's basically my story.
Milton.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned it. I stepped away for a minute. Boone and the Yankees are going to leave that Jason Dominguez in the minor leagues. It was in today's paper. I read that.
Yes.
They want him to learn down there, not here. Plus, there's no real openings right now.
I think there's much to learn. He's terrific. He's hitting a ton. You know, they also seem to have.
For now, they're going to leave him in the minors, they said.
Right. And they also seem to have a first baseman up and coming, and also what's his name? They had also the left field, the outfielder, the big guy. So they have a lot going for them. And Cole is coming back, and all of a sudden, look at this Poteet. Poteet comes in to pitch, and he's as good as all the other pitchers. So it's like a perfect storm season so far. But who's to say that?
Without Soto, that did not look good at those first two games against the Dodgers. I couldn't watch it. Really. They were leaving men on base again. They were the same old Yankees without Soto. He makes a difference in that whole lineup. And in my personal opinion, I think if they could somehow trade Stanton to another team, if another team would want him as a DA, he can't run.
I know.
He can't play the field. And I'd rather have Jason Dominguez up there. I'd rather have him up.
You can't make Dominguez a designated hitter. He's a budding star.
No, you know what? He could give each outfielder 1 day a week off. And
but you have to play him though. You have to play him every day. That's why he's staying in the minors.
Right.
They wouldn't play him every day.
All right, see, Larry.
We should give kudos to Stanton. He has 17 home runs and 40 RBIs right now.
Yeah, but they're always when you don't need them.
When they're 9 runs ahead.
And they're either ahead or they're losing by 9 runs. So
Right.
they're kind of meaningless.
But he hits them hard and far.
It's entertainment, you know?
I just saw him strike out with the bases loaded and nobody out. I think it was yesterday with the bat on his shoulders again. When they yeah.
Roger.
Yeah, just I watched most of the Yankee game today, and the Yankees were no hit through 6 innings. So
yeah.
But Soto's the one who broke up the no hitter. Soto also drove in the go ahead run today. And the 9th inning was really not Holmes' fault. There were a couple of misplays. One where Rizzo didn't hand the ball over well to Holmes, and another one they maybe could have turned the double play. So they were given a couple extra outs, but you know they came back.
Don't you right, Rod? Don't you notice when Holmes is going to blow a save? Okay? Right, it's always these little dribblers.
Yeah.
Okay. You always the mishandled dribblers, and you can almost see that he's going to. Yeah, it's not his fault. but it always happens. A dribble to him where he doesn't get it in time. That's the games he loses. It's unbelievable.
He made a good pitch. It's it's unfortunate, but that's baseball. Yeah.
All right, let us move on to Joe from New Jersey's Mets report, sponsored by Sidewalk Cracks.
Oh man, I don't like to hit them anymore. I hit one on the boardwalk at Asbury Park, and I just, oh man, last summer. Anyway, so a couple of headlines in the in my phone today. One of them is Harrison Beta hitting in the number 2 spot. So it got me thinking, what should the Mets do with their lineup, since what they've had the whole year doesn't seem to be working, and the changes that the manager made didn't work at all. They put Lindor at 1, Alonso 2nd, and let's see, and Nimmo 3rd. I think Nimmo is impressing. He's impressing the whole season somewhat, but in 3rd, I think he feels he really has to hit home runs. That's not his game. He's a line drive hitter who's strong enough to hit enough home runs. He'll hit 20, 25 home runs a year. And that's good enough. He doesn't have to do that, but his average is down in the 220s. I don't think he's a number 3 hitter. I'd move him back. I move him back to the first spot. I'd leave Bader in 2nd and play Bader every day. I guess you leave Lindor in 3rd. Keep JD Martinez in the as long as he's on the team for another month or so, unless the Mets turn it around. Leave him in the cleanup. Put Alonso 5th. Maybe give him a little bit of a break where he's not pressing so much. And Marte gives him a little bit of a little help, because he's been hitting pretty well. Marte 6th, and I don't know, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Roll your own, and I don't know, when McNeil plays, he's batting 9th. Alvarez probably 7th, and if he starts hitting, you can move him up. And ultimately, I see Alvarez, if he really does hit the way he hit last year for a little bit, he maybe move him into the cleanup spot. As far as pitching goes, I don't know. Quintana should not be in the rotation anymore. I think his ERA is north of 5 at this point. They don't need him. I think Peterson and McGill have both shown enough to leave them in the starting lineup. Let them pitch themselves out of it. Maybe they won't. McGill looked pretty good the other day. He only lasted 4 2/3, but struck out 9. He's got a lively arm. Peterson seems to have corrected the issue that really hurt him last year, which was he was unable to throw strikes. He was walking too many hitters, and he couldn't put the ball where he wanted to. He's pitching a little bit better this year, so I don't leave them in the starting rotation. Senga should be back. I don't know. I mean, he's kind of like a black hole with the information as to how he's doing. So I don't know. He seems to have his own, he keeps his own counsel as to how he's doing, but he should be coming back soon. So those 3, and there's a couple of other starters that are doing okay. And Hauser seems to be doing all right in the bullpen as a long man. Yeah. And there's the second, you'll forgive me while I punch this up again. The second thing is a headline from the Post: ex-Mets Michael Tonkin and Johan Ramirez thriving with new teams. I guess I'll leave that as it is. Tonkin's with the Yankees now, and he's doing all right. Yeah. Right. So we'll see how Lopez does. So I don't know. Was it wrong to DFA them? I don't know. Yes. We'll see.
Wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Wasn't wrong.
Yeah. So we'll see.
You don't do that to your team.
I mean, it's a crapshoot sometimes. So I don't know.
Gerald.
Yeah. Joe, did you see McNeil batted 9th yesterday?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Well, I said if he's in the lineup, that's where he bats. Amazing. I understand Beatty is starting at 2nd tonight in AAA.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah. That's also on my feed here. Yeah.
He can't play third base, so he's going to play 2nd.
We'll see. Let's see what happens.
I don't know. Beatty I thought his defense was acceptable. If he was hitting 300, you would leave him there. I think he's hitting he's hitting a very weak 220. Can't leave him at 3rd.
Yeah.
Vientos is hitting a little bit better, so you give him a chance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All
And
right.
we'll see. And it's another 6 weeks or so to decision time.
Right.
All right.
So we'll
Thank
see.
you. Thank you. All right, Mike. We finally come to you. Picking it all up. DC and
Nationals doing
Surroundings
okay.
Report, sponsored by Magic Carpet. Not Magic Carpet Ride, but Magic Carpet.
Steppenwolf.
Got it. That's a good one. I like that.
All right.
Well, I resolved to be upbeat this week about the Washington scene. So we will start with the Washington Spirit. That is the women's soccer team, professional soccer team. They lead the league in wins with 9. They are actually 1 point back. 2 teams, KC and Orlando, are tied for first. They have only 8 wins, but they have a bunch of ties, and the Spirit has lost a few games. So they're 1 point out, but they are right in contention. Then we have the Mystics, the WNBA team here in town, which won their first game.
Oh, they won. I was wondering.
They beat whoever the Atlanta team. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, they were 0-12, and then they got a hold of Atlanta and they beat them pretty good. I mean, it was a good 10 points or more win. Then we can say of the Washington Nationals, they had won 5 in a row going into today, but dropped a game. See where they played Detroit. They were on the road in Detroit, but they had already won the first 2 games of the series. They are now 32-36 on the season. So they're not exactly burning up the league, but there are some signs that there are some players on this team who can play. Another thing that happened with them is everybody's favorite, Joey Gallo, was put on the IL, which to me is addition by subtraction. This is he was batting 164 at the time. I mean, you know, last year his average for the year was 177, so they certainly knew what they were getting here. But he's not even as good this year as he was last year, and that's saying something. And the final thing to mention is that there's an article today in the Washington Post sports section about the fact that the Commanders have 2 backs now, and they don't come. It's a little different than what they've been doing. They have this guy Brian Robinson, who's sort of a big, rough and tough, hard runner, a very good runner, but he's a sort of a short yardage guy. But they have signed Austin Eckler away from the Chargers. So this team now features Robinson and Eckler, and they are thinking about going to a 2-back set.
Wow.
Whereas for the last umpty-ump years, they have used a 1-back set, and they just substituted whoever that was. It was Robinson most of the time, but they had another guy that was pretty good that could catch passes, and they used him, and they had other people, small guys who were scat backs. But it was always 1 back at a time. But now thoughts being given to a 2-back offense. We'll see. It's hard to say how those 2 guys will mesh, you know, on an offense that we haven't tried that, not to mention a brand new quarterback, right? The Commanders, as you know, they drafted the LSU quarterback. He'll be a rookie, but he almost certainly will start. And so he'll have those guys as weapons, but it's a different conception of an offense from what they have done. So that is my report for this week.
Anybody want to comment? All right, Gerald.
I just want to mention Mike Gallo's lifetime batting average. The last I looked, 195.
Well, what does he weigh, Cheryl?
I think he weighs about 235.
Oh my God, really?
Is he related to maybe his namesake, Crazy Joe Gallo?
Yeah.
The mobster.
They still stick him at first base against right-handed pitching, or they were before he went on the IL. He's not bad.
He can't hit the high inside pitches.
He's actually a very good athlete.
Strikes out.
Yeah,
he's a very good athlete, though.
He is.
That may well be.
Defensively.
Yeah, he's not bad at first base.
He started as an outfielder, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. Has a golden glove, I think. Left
yeah.
field.
Oh, I think he has a gold glove. You're right. I believe so.
Texas.
Yeah. All right. We make fun of him. He's getting paid.
Yeah.
Even though he's
And we're
terrible.
doing a Zoom session.
He
I
weighs
think,
250.
There you
I
go.
think,
Yeah,
He's got a ways to go. And
Yeah.
I think he entered the
That's got a lot of hits.
Frankfurter eating contest.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a few minutes.
He's
All right,
6'5",
thank you,
though.
thank you, Mike, for that. We find out what's going on in Mid-America there. I got a couple of quickies for everybody here. First of all, the Stanley Cup is going on, right? Florida and Edmonton was it's 2-0 Florida, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, does anyone care about this Stanley Cup championships?
Well, sure.
You
I mean,
care
Florida
about
is
this?
a highly populated state.
First of all, this
And
is
all
me
of Canada
personally.
is rooting for Edmonton.
Me personally, I don't care. I don't care who wins. I like to see Edmonton win, because they haven't had a championship in Canada in how many years? I don't know the number.
1993, I think.
Okay. And first of all, the spacing of the games, even if you get into a game and, the next game is not 3-4 days down the line. I think through the entire playoffs, it was every other day they were playing. They're not doing the championships like that. I don't know. Too long in between games. I was right. Too long in between games. And I don't care. But I have no interest in watching the games. And it's on national TV, right? ABC's doing the games, right?
Yes.
I believe so. All right.
If you're a hockey fan, you watch it. If you're not a
I
hockey fan,
I guess so. I'm not a great hockey fan, but I watch it for the sport of it. Anyway, there's going to be a new team, in Utah next year, and they're down to 6 names. Formerly the Arizona team. I'm forgetting what the Arizona team was named. What the Arizona?
Coyotes.
Oh, Coyotes, right? Coyotes. So now the new team in Utah, they're down to the Utah Blizzard, the Utah Hockey Club, the HCs, the Utah Mammoth, the Utah Outlaws, the Utah Venom, and the Utah Yeti.
Yeah.
Yeti.
Yetis doesn't make sense.
I like
this is the
Blizzard.
third move for that
That's
franchise.
a single individual.
Yeah. Anybody have a preference?
How about Squatch?
For
Not
a
yet.
while, before the Commanders called themselves the Commanders, they called themselves the Washington Football Club.
Yes.
That name is still pretty popular around here.
It's amazing, huh?
It's
amazing.
considered a contender for when they rename the team again.
Oh, I don't think I'll be surprised if they do that. Anyway, the Professional Women's Hockey League, there was a league this year which started on January 1st, the first time the women played professionally. Well, they had the championship. If you didn't know, Minnesota is the first champion. They beat a Boston team, and they won the Walter Cup. The Walter Cup. I bet you didn't know that. Basketball quickies here. The minority owners of the Minnesota Timberwolves, A-Rod, guy named Marc Lore, Lore, have added Michael Bloomberg, the Michael Bloomberg, our former mayor, to their ownership group. They're slowly moving to own the entire team, and they're also going to own the Minnesota Lynx of the WNBA. How about that one? What else? The Caitlin Clark controversy. Anybody want to talk about it? Does anyone feel that she should be on that team? The Olympic team I'm talking about.
Well, the way it's being framed here in the sport pages is it's a question of are you judging that question by the skills, her relative skills relative to other contenders, or are you judging it by the gate attraction that she provides and the attention that would be provided the U.S. Olympic basketball team, women's basketball team, if she were on it, as opposed to her not being on it?
Yeah.
By the one criteria, I think probably it's fair that she's the alternate. By the other criteria, it's just stupidity.
She is the first alternate. If somebody does get hurt of these 12 they picked, I think it was 12, she's the next one to go in, they say. So they say.
Oh, I think she would be. I think they see.
I think, listen, she really put them on the map, and people are more aware.
Exactly.
of these games, and you're snubbing her. You know, she says her time will come, etc., etc. They put 42-year-old Diana Taurasi. I'm sure she's still good, but she's 42. This is going to be her 6th Olympics. They put her on the team. Brittany Griner's on the team. Brianna Stewart. Who else? Aja Wilson, Nafisa Kalia, Jewel Lloyd, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, and the one on the Liberty, Ionescu. What's her first name? Sabrina Ionescu is on the team too. There's going to be a 3-on-3 league. Did any of you guys hear about this one? Women's.
There was one.
Women's 3x3 league formed by Brittany Stewart and the Minnesota Lynx star Nafisa Kalia. They both were former UConn players. Lots of investors are in this league, which is going to start maybe in the summertime. Investors Carmelo Anthony, Megan Rapinoe, the soccer player, Alex Morgan, the soccer player, NBA Steve Nash have put money towards this. They're supporters of his 3-on-3 league. I don't think the players have been announced yet. I don't believe that the teams have been picked. I guess the 3-on-3 league. So let's see how that goes. And you people see the Darryl Strawberry retired number 18 ceremony? Maybe you were there. Anybody?
No.
I didn't see it live. I had to tape it, and it was really good. Really good. It's always good to see people honored, and you see all the old time players come back to support. Yeah. So who are they going to Met fans? You're a Met fan, Joe. I don't know. Nobody else a Met fan here. I don't know. Milton, you're a Yankee. Mike, I don't know. Who do you root for, Mike?
49ers.
What about in baseball?
Giants,
right? Danny, you're Yankees, and Jeff, you're Yankees. Stewart, you're a what? Met. So who are they retire? Milton, you're a Yankee. Who are they going to retire next? Who do you think? Mookie seems to be the ambassador for that team. He's always there for every celebration. He went to London with David Wright to like hang out there and be supportive of the
Gary Carter.
I thought Gary Carter. That was my choice, Gary Carter. David Wright, Ron Darling, down the list there. Yeah. But Gary Carter or Mookie Wilson. I think David Wright is too recent. Give him some more time to then definitely his number will go up in the Raptors there. And did you watch the Mets and Phillies in London? What do you guys think of that, huh?
Sunday's game, some of it.
Huh?
It's good.
You don't want to watch? None of you guys watch the games?
No, where'd they play? They play at Wembley?
They played, no, it wasn't in Wembley. Another stadium. It's the same stadium I think the Yankees and the Red Sox hit that 15 to 14, whatever it was.
You know what, Mark? I remember one of the Yankees got so badly hurt. Who was that? Their first baseman.
They played at London Stadium.
London Stadium? London?
Yeah, one of the Yankees got...
I don't remember.
For so long after that.
I don't know. I remember. But it's fun. They jazzed it up. Channel 5 jazzed it up on Saturday. And Sunday's game was like in the morning.
10 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, and they split. And their crazy doubleheader, double play the Mets pulled at the end to win the game. They almost blew that game.
Wait, aren't they going to play in Mexico also?
What's that?
Are they going to play in Mexico also?
Did they already do that?
They did?
I think they already did that, but you see, it didn't get much advertisement. I think they played it already. I think so.
In spring training, they did.
Maybe that was it.
Maybe that was it.
Prior to Francisco Alvarez coming up back to the team after being out with his left thumb surgery, he caught a combined no-hitter. Anybody hear that one? He was catcher. The Brooklyn
the Cyclones.
Cyclones, thank you. Had a no-hitter. I think had 4 pitches, and he caught the no-hitter. I thought that was cool for him. What else do I have here before we move on? Oh, The Phil's JT Realmuto is going to be gone for quite a bit. He had knee surgery to remove cartilage in his right knee. No timetable when he'll be back. Interesting, right? And the Blue Jays DFA'd Kevin Biggio.
It's about time.
And he was batting like a $110 or something. He was batting, but the Dodgers picked him up.
No, they traded him.
They traded him. Okay, you have 10 days to trade or release, right? So
Something
within
like
the
that.
10 days,
traded him, they got
did that. Yeah. So we'll see how well he does there. I'm trying to go as fast as possible here. The Reds, Ellie De La Cruz. Fast, exciting player. He's only batting like 220. But they're talking about him stealing bases.
Right.
He's not going to steal 100 bases. And who was the last guy to steal 100 bases?
Maury Wills? No.
Ricky Henderson?
No.
No.
Not Lou Brock.
Ricky Henderson?
Not Ricky Henderson. Vince Coleman.
Vince Coleman.
1987 stole 109. That was the last time anyone stole 100 bases. But Ellie Cruz is making a run at it. And we'll see. They said statistically he probably won't make 100, but he may get close to 80. Pretty cool, right? Let's see what I always have to bring this up. The UFL. The championship game is this Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Sunday. Sunday at 5:00. The Birmingham Stallions against the San Antonio Brahmas.
Are you the only one watching this, Mark?
I could be the only one watching.
so.
Too bad it's not like locally. I would have gone to the game. You know what I mean?
That's the home team.
You said they left in the third quarter.
Some of you're all smarter than me, but what's a Brahma? I looked it
Bull.
up.
It's a bull.
Yeah.
Brahma bull.
Hybrid species crossbred from a sacred zebu. What's a zebu? A zebu, an American cattle. I don't know. But that's what a Brahmas is. Oh my God. The Belmont Stakes. Anybody watch it?
Yes.
Hey! Did you win?
No.
No.
No, but there was a funny incident. They were talking through the horses, and this horse.
We're talking to the horses.
they were talking about the horses. And, is it Torborg or something like that? Comes up, and he's 17-1 at the time. So the announcer on the TV says, "Well, if you have a winning ticket on this horse, you won't have to wait in line for very long." And then he won.
So Dornock.
Dornock,
one of his
that's
owners is Jason Worth.
Yeah, he was there.
One more.
Yeah, he towered over everybody.
And do you know what a Dornock is?
No.
I had to look it up. It's a town in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Never knew that. Never knew that. And listen, soccer. We've been talking about that. We talked about Lionel Messi earlier, right? Still, in the United States, there is no respect for soccer. I'm sorry. It's a bunch of people who play, but in my opinion, they get no respect. Here's what happened. In the North, let's see, the National Women's Soccer League, the NWSL. There's a league, you know that, right? Women pros. The Chicago Red Stars team were bumped out of their stadium. They were going to be playing the San Diego Wave on September 21st. But they found out that there's going to be a rock concert in Chicago, in that area, and they needed that stadium. So they bumped the soccer team to go play someplace else.
They get no respect.
No respect? Is that no respect or is that no respect? That's definitely no respect.
Well, okay. But the national team just tied Brazil. I think it was last night, actually. And an extremely very.
Saw that. They could have won the game. I saw a play they should have scored.
Yeah.
Right front. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy man, nice save. But that's Lucas Oil Stadium. Indianapolis, was converted or is going to be converted, I don't know if it was or is, to an Olympic-sized pool. You know, they have all these stadiums, they do these crazy things, they make soccer, they do the hockey rinks. The Olympic, this is where the Colts play, right? The Indianapolis Colts. Is converted into Olympic-sized pool for the U.S. Olympic trials. This week, I wrote down. It'll be the world's largest swimming venue. The first time a football stadium was converted into a swimming venue. I thought that was very, very nice to talk about. And a few more, then we got some questions here. Simone Biles won the U.S. championship in gymnastics, for those who care, with the Olympics coming on in a month or so. And she won every event in the trials, the all-around, the balance beam, the floor exercise, uneven bars, and the vault, obviously, to qualify. Overwhelming favorite going into the Olympics. And another name from the past, Gabby Douglas, also tried long shot. She's older than Simone. She's 28 years old. 8-year layoff, did not make it. She did not make it. And the hot dog eating contest. The July 4th, they banned Joey Chestnut. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, the news like that one, Mark.
Yeah, he's what's he doing? 16 years in a row, Joey Chestnut.
Oh.
And because he's sponsoring or endorsing a non-meat rival.
Yes,
vegan, plant-based vegan hot dog. They said you can't represent Nathan's hot dogs.
You
But
know, Mark, Babe Ruth ate a lot of hot dogs.
I know this is a different year, but
so
now what happened is, they said he can come back if he dumps being part of that, endorsing that company. But what's going to happen is on September 2nd, Netflix just signed him to a hot dog eating contest with not with Nathan's, with Takeru Kobayashi, the greatest Japanese hot dog eting. I don't know what they'll be eating on that day.
Probably a sumo wrestler.
I don't know, but
is that really a sport, Mark?
They're titling Chestnut versus Kobayashi, unfinished beef. It'll be on Netflix on that day.
A rematch.
And I think that is all I have. Oh, one more, and then we go. There was a terrible accident in badminton. Did anyone hear this story?
No.
A freak accident, not badminton competition, but you go to a park with your family and everybody has the badminton hitting it back and forth. Maybe you put a net up or not. I don't know. A freak accident by a family on vacation last weekend in Maine involving a badminton racket. A shard from the badminton racket broke off and pierced the skull, terrible, of a 6-year-old girl who was nearby.
Huh.
Little Lucy Morgan died 4 days later.
Oh, that's terrible.
Imagine that. They're playing a fun little vacation. The racket, which is flimsy to begin with, I don't know how it broke. I don't know if they bought it in a dollar store. I don't know. But it's a good story if you want to read more about it. But the poor girl, 6 years old. How about that? Terrible. All right, we have about 10 minutes. You want to do trivia questions? Anybody have? Look at you people. Nobody have a question?
You do.
The other people had to leave to go to various places. Yeah, got a few to give you. Let's see. 5 pitches, baseball pitches, with 300 plus strikeouts in a season, but less than 50 walks in a season.
Bob Feller?
No.
Wait, less than 50 walks, Mark, or less than 100?
Less than 50 walks,
wow.
But they struck out over 300.
Oh, in a season, okay.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan?
That's
Ryan is not on here. I have 1, 2, 3,
Walked too many
5
guys.
names. And they're all pretty current. They're not playing today, but the last 25,
Bob
30
Gibson?
Who?
Gibson?
No.
Randy Johnson?
Nope.
Sandy Koufax?
No, initials PM. PM.
Pedro Martinez.
Here's
Yes, yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Right.
Drysdale?
CS. CS.
CS.
Kurt
Trying to get
Schilling.
into the Hall of Fame, but
Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling.
I'm showing.
Current Dodger.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Kershaw.
Kershaw,
Yeah,
Clayton
the
Kershaw.
left-hander.
Yeah.
Sure.
Current. What was he playing with? I think the
Astro?
Braves. The Braves. CS.
Oh, Strider, right? No?
Former White Sox. Former Red Sox.
Sale.
Chris Sale.
Chris Sale.
Yeah.
And Yankee pitcher now.
Oh,
Stroman?
Cole.
Garrett
Derek
Cole, yeah.
Garrett Cole, yeah.
Oh, that's toughy for you guys. 8 states have 2 baseball teams. I'll knock them off here. 8 states have 2 or more baseball teams.
New York.
well, California.
California,
Yeah, Texas,
Texas, 3.
Illinois.
Florida.
Illinois.
4, Florida. Yeah, Florida and Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois. Yeah,
Texas. We said Texas, right?
Yeah.
Texas.
3 more.
in New York. Somebody said that.
Yeah.
3 more.
Pennsylvania.
Another one, good. 2 more.
Yeah,
You got Florida, Mark?
Florida.
Oh, yeah. Somebody said
Missouri.
Missouri, good.
Right, that's
And
right.
I think it's right near Missouri. Ohio.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
One in
You guys
Cincinnati.
strain yourself so much, yeah. And I found this one too. This is a good one. If you have all the positions in baseball, pitcher up to designated hitter, the all-time leader in home runs at each position. Found this. What do you think? First base.
Well, Mark McGuire. No, not the old
Lou Gehrig?
person.
No.
No, you're forgetting the guy who went over
Tomei.
700 home runs.
Lisa.
Huh?
Tomei, Mark?
No, 700.
Oh.
Pujols.
Oh.
Oh, Albert
More
Pujols.
recent, yeah.
All right. This may be a little tough for you guys. Second base.
Jeff
All-time
Kent.
leader.
Jeff Kent.
Jeff Kent, very good. 377. By the way, Pujols is 703. Shortstop.
Ernie Banks. No.
Oh, wait. No, Banks played first base also.
Yeah,
Doesn't
wait a
count.
second. Hold on, wait.
And this guy also played. Wait, maybe they're wrong here.
Jimmy
I have Cal
Rollins?
Ripken, but Cal Ripken played
Oh,
third
Ripken.
also.
Mostly
Maybe
short.
there's a question mark here. Okay.
Mostly shortstop.
Mostly shortstop. Third base.
Mike Schmidt.
You got it.
Yeah.
Left field.
Barry Bonds.
BB. Yeah.
That's it.
Center field. Say hey.
Willie
Oh, I was gonna
Mays.
say, yeah, yes.
Right field.
Hank Aaron.
And Karen,
Hank
yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah.
All-time catcher.
Um,
One of my favorites.
Piazza? Mike Piazza?
Piazza. How about designated hitter? I don't know what the club designated. Yeah, you might have hit him as first base, but you think of him mostly as a designated hitter.
Martinez.
No.
God,
They have David Ortiz.
Edgar
They have David
Martinez.
Ortiz.
Poppy.
You know, he came
Yeah.
up with an outfielder, so I don't know if this is right or not. And who is the greatest home run hitting pitcher?
Pitcher.
WF.
Lawrence Bond.
WF.
Ah.
WF. Wait, what? Juan, wait, no.
Wes.
Who for what
Wes
team?
Farrell?
Wes Farrell.
Oh,
They say
Wes
38.
Farrell.
They
Really?
say 38 as the all-time for a pitcher. I don't know if that's true. Okay. And then finally, we'll do the last question. Any of you guys have a question? All right. Have the last question, then we can call it a day. Let's see. Name the last 5 players. The last 5 players to play 20 plus years in the major leagues for only one team. Good question.
Cheater.
I was gonna say
Cheetah's
Jeter.
on the list.
Yes.
4 more.
Cabrera.
No.
No, I guess he didn't play 20.
That's right. He
No,
played for
he
Miami.
played for
too,
Miami.
yeah.
Oh, right. That's right. That's
Only
right.
one team his whole career.
20, no, it wasn't 20 years. Right,
One is the father of a man we talked about earlier, which went to the Dodgers.
Oh, Biggio? No.
Greg Biggio.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like
20
Bishop for
plus
the
years.
Astros.
On the
Houston.
Astros. 3
Yeah.
more. And they're all Hall of Famers.
Jim
San Diego
Palmer.
Padres.
Oh, Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn.
Oh, yeah.
All he played for.
It was that many years. Oh.
And one played for the Orioles.
Palmer.
No.
Ripken? Cal Ripken?
Ripken.
right.
And the other one had a baseball glove with his name on it. He played shortstop. Then he went to center field.
Robin Yount.
Robin.
Oh, yes. Right.
So
Good.
20 plus years and only played for one
Milwaukee.
team. Not the only ones, but the last 5 players to do it. And there you go.
Very good.
All right, guys. I'm getting tired of talking.
I got a song, Mark.
You got a song. I forgot about your song. I think it's still there.
All right.
All right, for us who are still with us.
1969.
All right,
Big
guys.
hit.
We'll see you next week. Good song.
Every day with you, girl, is sweeter than the day before. Every day I love you more and more, more and more and more. They say that all good things.
They had a lot of big hits.
A lot of big hits. Yeah. Hey.
Last 6-4.
Good.
It's a good
Favorite
one.
song?
Stormy.
Every day with you, girl.
Got
Sweeter
it.
than the day before.
Got it.
Good song.
Every day with you, girl, is sweeter than the day before.
All right, Milton. We'll see everyone out there next week.
Yes.
Have a good week and all that
Mark,
stuff.
thanks for last night, Mark. That was nice.
Last night was fun.
Yeah,
And
last
you
night
too,
was good.
Roger. Thank you.
Classics
You
4.
got home safe, Joe. That was
Last
amazing.
6-4
I
was
did,
right.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Good song,
Take care,
Milton.
guys.
All right.
Appreciate
That was
the
a
song.
good song.
Guys, have a good week. Talk to you soon.
Take
Yep.
care.
Take care. Bye, guys.